Most people assume a standing ovation from celebrity judges is a ticket to the top, but for Lucy Thomas, it was nearly the end of her story. In 2018, the world watched as a 14-year-old from Wigan delivered a rendition of Moon River that was so technically superior it felt like a glitch in the reality TV matrix. For most kids, reaching the semifinals of The Voice Kids UK triggers a very specific, very dangerous machine. Typically, the Prodigy is rushed into a development deal where their image is sanitized, their sound is homogenized, and their future is signed away on a dotted line they don't yet understand. But then, something unprecedented happened. While her castmates were chasing fleeting likes and signing restrictive multi-year deals, Lucy Thomas essentially vanished. Behind the scenes, rumors began to circulate that her inner circle had rejected the standard industry blueprint. Speculation arose that major labels wanted to mold her into a teen pop sensation, but the Thomas camp saw the golden cage for what it was. This was a critical crossroads. She could either be the next manufactured starlet or something much more rare. By choosing to return to Lancashire and sign with the tiny, independent Cavendish Records, she wasn't just staying local. She was mounting a quiet rebellion. This move baffled industry insiders who believed that without a Big Three label, a singer's career would wither by the time they hit 20. Instead, this period of supposed quiet was actually a period of intense preservation. She was being protected from the fast-track lifestyle that has led to so many young talents facing public burnout or legal battles over their own names. While the headlines ignored her, Lucy was busy perfecting a vocal technique that would soon make the industry's biggest stars look like amateurs. While the rest of the world was locked inside in 2020, Lucy Thomas was building a digital empire that the mainstream labels couldn't find the password to. The pandemic of 2020 was a graveyard for many musical careers, but for Lucy, it was the ultimate catalyst. While major artists were mourning the loss of their stadium tour, Lucy was holed up in a studio, releasing content with a frequency and quality that felt almost supernatural. This was the birth of the ghost star phenomenon. She wasn't on the radio, she wasn't on the red carpets, and yet her numbers were rivaling the biggest names in the world. However, this level of digital success brought a new, darker wave of speculation. On forums and in the depths of YouTube comment sections, a controversy began to brew. Critics argued that her videos were too perfect, sparking intense debates about whether any human could actually achieve that level of vocal clarity in a live setting. Accusations of digital enhancement surfaced, with skeptics suggesting her team was using advanced technology to craft a version of Lucy that didn't exist in reality. These perfection rumors became a double-edged sword. They fueled her view counts as millions tuned in to see if she was truly a vocal android, or the real deal. During these years, she released albums like Premiere and Encore with zero traditional marketing, relying entirely on a grassroots digital fortress. She was bypassing the gatekeepers who usually decide who gets to be famous. It was a masterclass in independence, but it left the public wondering, what was the cost of this isolation? While her peers were experiencing the normal social ups and downs of their late teens, Lucy seemed focused only on the instrument. This period defined her as an outlier, a singer who preferred the safety of the studio over the chaos of the paparazzi lifestyle, leading many to question if she would ever be able to translate this digital perfection into a real-world stage presence. The classical crossover girl everyone thought they knew began to change in late 2024, and the shift has left the industry completely unsettled. As Lucy transitioned from her teens into her early 20s, the wholesome Prodigy image began to evolve into something much more formidable. By late 2024 and throughout 2025, the rumors of her being a studio-only creation were finally put to rest, but they were replaced by a new kind of speculation. Fans began to notice a change in her repertoire, a move away from the safe, theatrical covers that built her empire and toward a more aggressive, mainstream pop sound. This was the release of Don't Walk Away, a track that signaled she was no longer content with being the polite singer from Wigan. But with this new sound came whispers of creative friction. Was she finally pushing back against the independent label that had protected her for so long? Speculation surfaced about whether she was being scouted by the very major labels she had snubbed years earlier. Furthermore, the technical uncanniness of her voice reached a boiling point. Vocal coaches across the globe were analyzing her 2025 performances, trying to find a single flaw, a single cracked note, or a moment of human error. The fact that they couldn't find any only added to her mysterious aura. This perfection became her brand, but it also created a wall between her and the public. She remained one of the most famous, unknown singers in the world, a woman with a billion-stream potential who still lived a life of relative seclusion. This period was the ultimate stress test for her career. Could she maintain the perfect standard while trying to break into a pop world that usually rewards edginess and scandal? Lucy was proving that you didn't need a rehab stint or a public off-the-rails moment to stay relevant in the 2020s. In 2026, the question is no longer, where is Lucy Thomas? It's how much of the industry does she already own? As we stand in 2026, the evolution of Lucy Thomas is complete. She has done the impossible. She navigated the child star minefield without a single OD scare, a single legal accusation, or a single public breakdown. She has turned 21 with a catalog of music that belongs entirely to her, a feat that stars like Taylor Swift had to fight decades to achieve. Her 2026 European tour has been the final piece of the puzzle, proving to the skeptics that her vocal power is even more devastating in person than it is through a screen. But as she reaches this new peak, the mystery remains. Lucy still operates with a level of privacy that feels like a throwback to a different era. She has successfully decoded the modern celebrity, proving that you can have massive influence without sacrificing your sanity to the 24-hour news cycle. There are still rumors, of course, whispers about a massive, secret project that could bridge the gap between her independent roots and a global cinematic debut. But regardless of what comes next, her legacy is already secure. She is the sovereign of sound, an artist who built her own table when she wasn't invited to sit at the industry. The girl who once stood nervously on a stage in 2018 has become a mogul in 2026, and she did it all by refusing to speak the industry's language. She is the ultimate proof that in a world of loud noise, the purest voice will always find a way to be heard. The era of the manufactured pop star may not be over, but Lucy Thomas has shown us that it is officially optional.